You are one card away, one spin, one moment from everything changing. It is not about the money. Not really. It is about the feeling. That electric charge running through your veins. The way your heart pounds against your chest like it is trying to escape. The world around you fades to nothing. All that exists is this single moment, this one chance, this breath you are holding without even realizing it. But here is the question nobody asks. Why does your brain ignore every logical thought screaming at you to stop? Why does a near miss feel almost as good as a win? And what is it about the gamble that pulls us back again and again, even when we know better, even when we promised ourselves this would be the last time? The answer lives deep inside your mind, in places you cannot see, in patterns you never chose. Tonight we are going to explore the hidden architecture of the gambler's brain. Not to judge, not to preach, but to understand. Because understanding changes everything. It opens doors you never knew existed. Let us begin with something called the dopamine loop. Your brain has a reward system. Think of it like a machine that dispenses good feelings. When something nice happens, this machine releases a chemical called dopamine. It floods your brain and makes you feel alive, happy, hungry for more. This is not weakness. This is biology. This is how your brain was built to work. It has kept humans striving and surviving for millions of years. Now here is where things get interesting. Your brain does not just release dopamine when you win. It releases dopamine when you think you might win. The anticipation itself becomes the drug. Consider a case profile based on observed patterns. A man sits at a slot machine. He has lost money for the past hour, but his brain is buzzing. Why? Because every spin carries the promise of something big. The lights flash, the sounds chime. His brain cannot tell the difference between almost winning and actually winning. Both feel like progress. Both feel like hope. This is the trap. The dopamine loop does not care about your bank account. It cares about possibility. And in a casino, possibility is everywhere. Every card flip, every dice roll, every spinning wheel. Your brain sees a world full of potential rewards. It does not see the math. It does not calculate the odds. It just feels the rush of what could be. The promise of transformation. The hope that everything is about to change. That your whole life could be different after this next spin. Think about the way light reflects off a spinning wheel. The colors blur together. Red becomes orange, becomes gold. There is something hypnotic about it. Something that pulls your attention inward. The outside world disappears. Your problems fade. All that matters is this moment, this spin, this chance. The way the sounds seem to wrap around you. The gentle hum of the casino floor. The distant chatter that feels miles away. You are in a bubble, and the bubble feels safe. The dopamine loop feeds on uncertainty. When you know what is going to happen, there is no rush. But when you do not know, when the outcome hangs in the balance, that is when your brain lights up like a Christmas tree. Gambling is designed to maximize this uncertainty. The machines are built to keep you guessing. The games are crafted to make every outcome feel possible, every near victory feel earned, every loss feel like a fluke that will soon be corrected. Scientists have studied this phenomenon for decades. They have put people in brain scanners and watched what happens when they gamble. The results are always the same. The reward centers light up during anticipation, sometimes even brighter than they do during the actual win. Your brain is wired to chase the chase itself. The hunt matters more than the catch. Let us talk about something called the illusion of control. This is a trick your mind plays on you. It makes you believe you have power over random events. You do not. But your brain refuses to accept this. It constructs elaborate stories about skill and strategy and destiny. Stories where you are the hero. Stories where you deserve to win. Here is a common example. Imagine a roulette table. The ball has landed on black 5 times in a row. Your brain whispers to you, red is due. It has to be red this time. The pattern demands it. The universe owes you balance. Surely the cosmos itself cannot let black win again. But the wheel has no memory. It does not know what happened before. Each spin is completely independent. The chances of red are exactly the same as they were on the first spin. This is called the gambler's fallacy, and it has cost people fortunes. It has emptied bank accounts. It has broken families, all because of a lie the brain tells itself, a lie that feels like truth. Why does your brain fall for this trick? Because humans are pattern seekers. We evolved to find meaning in chaos. Our ancestors survived by recognizing patterns in nature. When the berries changed color, winter was coming. When the birds flew south, food would be scarce. When the sky turned gray, rain would follow. Pattern recognition kept us alive. It helped us predict the future in a dangerous world. It was a superpower. But in a casino, this ancient skill becomes a weakness. Your brain looks at a series of random events and tries to find order. It invents patterns that do not exist. It creates stories about what should happen next, and those stories feel true. They feel logical. They feel like insights, even when they are completely wrong. Even when they lead you deeper into the trap, your greatest strength becomes your greatest vulnerability. The illusion of control shows up in other ways too. Think about the gambler who has a lucky shirt, or who always sits in the same seat, or who blows on the dice before throwing them. These rituals create a sense of power. They make us feel like we can influence the outcome. We cannot, but the feeling is real, and feelings drive behavior more than facts ever will. Feelings are what make us human. Research shows that people bet more money when they throw the dice themselves. They feel more confident in outcomes they seem to control, even when the outcomes are purely random. The illusion runs deep. It lives in our bones. It whispers to us that we are special, that we have a gift, that luck favors us specifically, that we are different from all those other people who lost. Now we come to one of the most powerful forces in gambling psychology, the near-miss effect. This is perhaps the most clever trick the brain plays on itself. And casinos have learned to exploit it with surgical precision. A composite example based on observed patterns. A woman plays a slot machine. 3 symbols need to line up for a jackpot. 2 of them match perfectly. The third one stops just 1 position away from completing the set. She did not win. But her brain does not process it as a loss. It processes it as an almost win, as progress, as a sign that victory is close, as proof that she should keep playing. Studies have shown something remarkable. Near misses activate the same reward centers in the brain as actual wins. Read that again. Losing feels like winning when you almost won. This makes no logical sense. You still lost money. You still walked away with less than you started with. But your brain floods with dopamine anyway. It celebrates defeat as though it were triumph. It throws a party for your failure. Casinos know this. Slot machines are programmed to produce more near misses than random chance would allow. The symbols are weighted. The reels are designed. Every near miss is a hook that keeps you playing. Your brain thinks it is getting closer to victory. It thinks the pattern is almost complete. Just one more spin, just one more chance, just one more try, and everything will click into place. You are so close. How could you stop now? The near miss creates a powerful illusion of progress. You feel like you are learning, improving, getting better at the game. But there is no skill involved in a slot machine. There is no pattern to master. The near miss is a mirage, a beautiful lie that keeps you walking through the desert toward water that does not exist. The silence between the bets tells its own story. There is a moment right after you place your wager when everything goes quiet. Time seems to slow down. Your breath catches in your throat. This is the moment of pure anticipation, pure possibility. Your brain is swimming in dopamine, waiting to see what happens next. This moment, some gamblers will tell you, is the best part. Better than winning. Better than the money. Just the beautiful suspense of not knowing. The world holds its breath with you. This brings us to something researchers call the machine zone. It is a state of mind that gamblers enter when they have been playing for a while. Time loses meaning. Hours feel like minutes. The outside world fades completely. All that exists is the screen, the cards, the wheel. The rhythm of the game becomes a kind of heartbeat. Your heartbeat. The machine zone is similar to something else we know about the brain. It mimics the activity of something called the default mode network. This is the part of your brain that activates during deep reflection, when you daydream, when you lose yourself in thought, when the boundaries between yourself and the world seem to dissolve. It is a form of trance, a waking dream, a place where the self disappears. In the machine zone, gamblers are not really gambling anymore. They are escaping. The wins and losses become background noise. What matters is the rhythm, the repetition, the endless cycle of bet, wait, result. Bet, wait, result. It becomes a form of meditation, a way to quiet the chatter of everyday life, a door into a different state of consciousness, a vacation from being you. Consider a case profile. A man goes to a casino after a difficult day at work. His boss yelled at him. His car broke down. His phone will not stop buzzing with problems he cannot solve. Bills pile up. Relationships feel strained. Life feels heavy. Every direction feels like a wall. He sits down at a poker table and something shifts. The problems are still there, but they feel far away, muffled, like voices from another room. The only thing that matters now is the cards in his hand. Just the cards, nothing else. This is the escape. This is what gambling offers that money cannot buy. A vacation from your own life. A break from the endless stream of worries and responsibilities. For a few hours, you can be someone else. Someone whose only job is to watch the wheel spin. Someone without a past weighing them down or a future they dread facing. Someone free. But the machine zone has a dark side. When you disconnect from reality, you also disconnect from consequences. Money stops feeling real. Losses stop registering. The part of your brain that would normally tap you on the shoulder and say, "Hey, maybe we should stop now," goes quiet. It gets lost in the rhythm too. It forgets to warn you. It forgets to protect you. And you keep playing. Some people gamble for profit. They study the odds. They count cards. They treat it like a job. They approach the table with spreadsheets and probability calculations. But for most gamblers, profit is not really the point. The point is the experience, the feeling, the escape from ordinary life into a world where anything seems possible, where fate might smile on you at any moment, where magic still exists. Let us slow down here. Let us sit with this for a moment. There is no judgment in these words, no finger pointing. Gambling has existed as long as humans have existed. We found dice in ancient Egyptian tombs. We found gaming pieces in prehistoric caves. The urge to take risks, to court chance, to dance with uncertainty. This lives deep in our DNA. It is part of what makes us human. It connects us to every ancestor who ever rolled the bones. The question is not whether gambling is good or bad. The question is whether we understand what happens inside our minds when we play, because understanding is the first step toward choice, real choice. Not the kind driven by dopamine and illusion, but the kind that comes from seeing clearly, from knowing the territory you are entering, from walking in with your eyes wide open. Now let us talk about what happens when the luck runs out, because it always does. The math always wins in the end. The house edge is small but relentless. Over time, it grinds down every winning streak. It turns every hot hand cold. This is not bad luck. This is arithmetic. This is the invisible tax you pay for every moment of excitement. The casino always wins. Always. The big loss is a moment of reckoning. Everything that felt good suddenly feels terrible. The dopamine that was flowing so freely crashes to nothing. The escape that felt so sweet becomes a trap. The machine zone shatters, and reality comes flooding back. All at once, like cold water in the face, like waking from a dream into a nightmare. A composite example based on observed patterns. A man has been playing for 8 hours. He started with a small win. He felt lucky, special, destined for something big. Then he lost. Then he chased his losses, trying to get back to even. Each bet got bigger. Each loss hurt more. And now he is standing at the ATM, watching the last of his rent money disappear into the machine. His hands are shaking. His stomach is hollow. The lights that seem so magical now feel harsh and cruel. This is the crash. The psychological impact of a big loss is not just about money. It is about identity. The gambler has spent hours believing he was special, lucky, destined for a big win. The loss shatters that story. It reveals a truth he did not want to see. The game was never in his favor. It was never going to be. He was never chosen by fate. He was just another player feeding the machine. The crash activates something called the stress response. Cortisol floods the brain. The fight or flight system kicks in. But there is nothing to fight, nothing to run from. Just the cold reality of an empty wallet and a long drive home. Just the weight of choices that cannot be undone. The shame that follows you into the quiet hours. The voice that asks how you could be so foolish. Here is what makes this moment so dangerous. The brain remembers the good feelings much better than the bad ones. A week from now, the crash will fade into the background. The sharp edges will soften. But the memory of that early win, the rush of that near miss, those will stay sharp and vivid. They will whisper to you, just one more time. It will be different this time. You have learned from your mistakes. You are smarter now. You are ready. This is how the cycle perpetuates itself. Win, lose, crash, forget, repeat. The dopamine loop keeps pulling you back. The illusion of control keeps telling you that next time will be different. The near-miss effect keeps convincing you that victory is just around the corner. And the escape is always there, waiting to swallow your problems again. The door is always open. But there is another way to look at all of this. A different perspective that might change everything. A door that opens when you understand what you are dealing with. A light that turns on in the darkness. What if understanding the gamble is the real win? Not the money, not the jackpot, but the clarity of seeing your own mind clearly. Knowing why you feel what you feel. Recognizing the tricks your brain plays on you, naming them. greeting them like old acquaintances, watching them do their dance without being swept away. There is power in awareness. When you understand the dopamine loop, you can notice it happening. You can feel that rush of anticipation and recognize it for what it is. A chemical reaction, not a sign from the universe, not evidence that your luck is about to change. Just neurons firing in predictable patterns. Beautiful, ancient patterns that no longer serve you. You can appreciate the feeling without believing the story. When you understand the illusion of control, you can catch yourself inventing patterns. You can smile at your lucky shirt and wear it anyway, knowing it makes no difference to the outcome. You can enjoy the ritual without being controlled by it. You can play the game instead of letting the game play you. You can be in on the joke. When you understand the near-miss effect, you can see it clearly. You can watch those symbols almost line up and feel the rush, while knowing in your mind that you still lost. The feeling is real, but so is the truth. Both can exist at once. You do not have to choose between them. You can hold both in your hands. This is not about never gambling again. That choice belongs to you. But it is about gambling with your eyes open, about knowing the terrain you are walking through, about respecting the power of your own mind and the ways it can mislead you, about being the author of your decisions instead of their victim, about freedom. The gambler's mind is not broken. It is working exactly as evolution designed it. It is seeking rewards, finding patterns, chasing possibilities. These are not flaws. They are features. They helped our ancestors survive in a dangerous world. They kept us exploring, striving, hoping for better days. They are part of what makes us beautiful. The problem is that casinos have learned to exploit these features. They have engineered environments that hijack our ancient reward systems. They have created games that fool our pattern-seeking brains. They have built machines that turn our losses into almost wins. They have perfected the art of the beautiful trap. They have studied us better than we have studied ourselves. Knowing this changes the game, not the odds. Those stay the same. But the way you experience the game, the way you relate to your own desires, the way you move through a world full of spinning wheels and flashing lights, the way you understand yourself, the way you hold your own hand. There is a kind of freedom in understanding, a space that opens up between stimulus and response, between the rush and the decision. In that space, you can choose. Really choose. Not react, not follow the dopamine wherever it leads, but pause, reflect, and decide. That pause is everything. That pause is where you live. So the next time you feel that pull, that urge to take a chance, that electric charge running through your veins, remember what you now know. Your brain is doing exactly what brains do. It is not your enemy, but it is not always your friend either. It is a tool, and like any tool, its value depends on how well you understand it. The wheel keeps spinning. The cards keep falling. The dice keep rolling. That is what they do. That is their nature. What you do is up to you. That is your nature too. That is your true power. And that wraps up today's exploration of the gambler's mind. What a journey through the hidden corners of the brain, right? From dopamine loops to near misses to the machine zone, we have covered a lot of ground tonight. This is a topic that touches all of us in some way. Whether you have sat at a casino table or simply bought a lottery ticket, these patterns live inside your mind too. If this video gave you something to think about, let us know in the comments below. Have you ever experienced that near-miss rush? Have you caught yourself believing a pattern that was not really there? We would love to hear your stories about risk and reward. Thanks for spending this time with us. Take care of yourself out there.